Askreddit by Miramble17. The 2010's decade will be over in 4 months. What do you think people will remember this decade for? The clown epidemic of 16. That feels like a fever dream we all collectively had. Men's styles patterned short sleeved button down shirts, flannel shirts, beards, high and tight haircuts. Women's styles yoga pants, athleisure, jumpsuits, rompers, Coachella attire. Don't know how else to describe this, but it's a distinct look. Music: country, mumble, hip hop, bad repetitive pop, EDM and festivals. Tech: automation, social media, data, mobile. Phones, influencers. This should be number 1. People generally don't care about change and politics as much as they do the culture. Social networks and how everyone thought it was a good idea to keep track of everyone in their life. Kids in 10 years will be like, so you met this guy at the pub and added him into your social network? Didn't that give him access to all your social details? Privacy will become the biggest thing ever, and loose social media connections will become the exact thing not to do. You know, when you watch documentaries now about kids in the 80s hitchhiking or stepping into a serial killer's van because they said they had puppies in there, and you scream at the TV like, what are you doing, you idiot? That's how people will think of our 2010's years. That's a very interesting thought and a great way to put it too. Spending the entire decade thinking last year was 2008. I suffer from this. Makes it hell remembering my kids' birthdays. For Europe it will definitely be the refugee crisis. They will remember crazy colored hair, trying to dress like people in the 90s. Those old iPhones that everyone had and thought were so cool but look like bricks now. Vaping, thick eyebrows, overly photoshopped and facettuned photos. Back when YouTube actually allowed relatively normal people to become famous. Duck lips, dabbing, haram, the death of brick and mortar and the rise of Amazon Prime. Because we'll all regret it in 10 years. Social media. A great tool horribly mismanaged. People ask me where I'm going to be in 4 months. I don't have 2020 vision jokes. I am waiting with bated breath to have a chance to sink my teeth into. I hate it when people ask me what I'll be doing in 0 years. Come on guys, I don't have 2020 vision. The 2010s will probably be remembered for as the remake era for Disney. That would require a change of direction for Disney in the 2020s, and I just don't see that happening. Looking forward to this thread being unearthed in 2029. I hope you're all doing better than us. 2029 seems like 100 years away, but 2009 to now flew. I hope I'm done college by then and have a job, or I'll be in some trouble, lol. The rise of the smartphone. Everyone has access to the internet and can voice their opinion towards the world at any moment, with all the negative effects that it brings. IMHO. This is the biggest one. The iPhone came out in what, 2007? It was a solid year or two before you had traction there. Now, phones have pretty much replaced most people's home computers for menial tasks. They will remember how great summer 2016 was. Edit, I removed the comma. Edit 2. Wow, my first medal of any kind. Thanks, stranger. The first few weeks of the came and go were magical. The social media explosion. Social media is fucking insane. It gives the people so much power, and yet, it also has so much power to manipulate the people. Real headlines trying to outdo the Onion. That is the most Onion way of putting it. Kudos. I don't like this realization. It didn't even cross my mind to me until reading this post. The death of traditional media. Printed newspapers and periodicals, broadcast television and radio are fading. And while digital music way predates the 2010's, it took until this decade for pop stars to stop selling albums. They aren't tallying CD sales anymore, they are counting unique streams. Their death will be in the 20s. They were still huge in the 10s, but began losing their revenue and popularity. I feel the final nail will come sometime around the halfway point. People are gonna reminisce about how good the 2010s were. They may not seem good now, but just wait to see what the 20s have in store for you. Edit. I hate being right. Oh no. Social media influencers. Netflix streaming. It was available before 2010, but didn't get reliable until after. Swipe dating apps. The word online dating and dating sites are now swapped with the phrases dating apps. Obama Trump. Obama Trump. From 10 now. Feels like it's been 2 separate decades during the one. From a video game standpoint, this is the decade of the indie explosion, esports, battle royales and microtransactions. From a cinematic standpoint, this is the age of superheroes. Comic book movies dominated in the last decade and they are not going anywhere anytime soon. I think we'll eventually look back at superhero movies the way that we look back at cowboy movies. Depression and memes. But really I think mental health will be one of the biggest problems going forward, and this is going to be known as the times when it emerged as a problem. The incredible rise of misinformation and irresponsible knee-jerk reaction choices on very serious topics. Deleted. We've been at war for 18 fucking years. Yeah, some kids who were born after 9/11 can enlist in the army now. Didn't see it here so I'll mention it. The Syrian civil war and rise and fall of the Islamic State. Shit, the Syrian civil war will still be going next decade, fret not. Social media. Memes. Smartphones. Trump. Party rock. At my wedding, some friends created a dance routine to party rock as a surprise for us. What nobody at the wedding knew was, by complete coincidence, I had previously learned the dance break from the music video because I thought it was so damn cool. When the dance break came up during their performance, I jumped in with them, danced the dance break, and sat back down. I'll never forget the look on everyone's faces. The decade that normalized eating ass. The meme renaissance. Started off as image macros, ended as screenshots of tweets. The wild switch from President Obama to President Trump. Say what you want good or bad about either of them, but their ways of doing the job are very different in many ways. Edit. Thanks for the gold and silver, whoever you are. Outrage addiction. A YouTuber pointed this out very clearly. He gave the example of the Nike Betsy Ross shoe controversy. He showed how this was a planned incident to increase sales for Nike. Why did Nike come out and basically say sorry, we are recalling all of the Betsy Ross shoes because Colin Kaepernick thinks they might be offensive? Even if true, why not just try and silently recall them or just make up a simple excuse? Why? Because that faux incident will cause outrage, which will drive up sales for Nike by the group of people that need to stand up to injustice and get those bad people that oppose this. On the flip side of this is the other companies cashing in on it as well. They are the ones saying don't put up with this Colin Kaepernick crap. Show him and Nike that you really hate them by buying a Betsy Ross shirt and hat from us. So it sells on both ends and companies are laughing all of the way to the bank. Outrage sells more than ever nowadays. Edit. Here is the link of the video I referenced, https://www.yahoo.com/ /watch question mark den8rbswnk ampersand and semicolon list ll-wjtf8ngtcprswx underscore zgahg ampersand amp semicolon index 1 to ampersand amp semicolon 0s.